right, last night, the triumphant return of the product herself, Angel Reese, finally made her way back to the court. Funny, a lot of questions going on out there around Angel the last month or so. Like, what in the bleep is going on? Exactly, why aren't you playing in games? We heard it was a...
Okay, this is wild. Chicago basically threw a championship parade for Angel Reese, plastering "Welcome Back Barbie" everywhere with social posts screaming her return. But here's the kicker: the moment she hit the court, everything went sideways. By the end of the night, Chicago had lost their 5th game in a row, dropping to a dismal 8 wins and 26 losses, sliding deeper into playoff danger. And the worst part, the clip everyone was sharing wasn't a scoring highlight, it was her getting absolutely blocked on national TV.
Angel low in her head, has liked her spots here and likes her champ.
And get this, critics immediately jumped on the irony. Their superstar ditches the team during a terrible slump, comes back talking about self-growth, puts up 19 points, 7 boards, and 4 assists. But guess what? They still couldn't stop another collapse. This whole thing perfectly sets up just how badly Chicago's massive marketing gamble blew up in their face. Seriously, do you think Reese actually helps her team win? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Oh, quitting again? It appears you're quitting again just because your team not good. Just like rookie year, once you realize you stood no chance to win rookie of the year, you quit. You're quitting unrivaled. It looked like it was happening again. But look what we have here. Look what we have here. Angel Reese has been...
But hold up. Let me break down just how much Chicago tried to make this happen. They basically screamed, "Angel Reese is back," from the rooftops. The team's official social media. Oh, they went all out, blasting "Welcome Back Barbie" in giant pink letters, turning her first game in nearly a month into a full-blown event. This wasn't just a regular game. They wanted it to feel like a full-blown rescue mission against Seattle. The problem, the second that ball tipped off, the difference between their hype and her actual performance was blindingly obvious.
Williams forces a turnover. Diana with her head up to Angel Reese.
So, Reese tried to frame her time away as this deep, personal reflection period, saying she learned a lot about myself. But honestly, with the team completely collapsing, critics just saw that as totally tone-deaf. Fans weren't hearing someone who was humbled. They were hearing someone who seemed like they just checked out when the team needed them most. And that's exactly why this comeback meant so much more than just points or rebounds. It was all about her credibility, about whether she could still be the face of Chicago's future.
So back! Bang! Hexagon, polygon, octagon, it don't matter! Turn it on for pecan! Butter pecan! Bang! Rebound. Bang!
Hasn't played in 3 weeks. Maybe her legs are fresh. She can jump higher.
No! Bang! She's played in 24 games this year. She's been blocked 48 times!
According to my advanced analytics, she's getting 2 bang-bangs per game.
And the game itself, it delivered a brutal answer. That massive block by Ezi Magbigor, which Seattle's social team totally leaned into, became the single most replayed moment. Within hours, what was supposed to be Reese's triumphant highlight turned into this viral clip basically mocking her big comeback. And to make it worse, Reese was still out there barking after every little play, just like she always does, but it only made it sting even more every time she fell short. The hyped-up heroics and what actually happened on the court just didn't align. Yeah, she scored 19 points, but what everyone remembers is that humiliating social media clip. For fans, the whiplash was instant. It was a gut punch.
10 games, and you're still top 4 in the league in total turnovers.
I said swiper! No swiping! Bang! I know you're a better bowler than you are a basketball player, but I thought we were going to save that bowling pass till next year. Bang! You want some maple syrup with that pancake? Bang! Like Mr. SquarePants once said, you know what's funnier than 24? How about an 8-26 record?
Think about it. 1 minute, fans are being told this game is going to completely change the Sky's season. The next, they're scrolling through Twitter, and Reese is trending for all the wrong reasons. Instead of seeing incredible highlights, they watch their supposed savior become a walking meme. And when a player's big comeback is remembered more for an opponent's block than for anything they actually did, well, that tells you everything you need to know about how badly it all landed.
We missed you, Angel. You're back. You're roaring back, and I'm sure you came back and led the Chicago Sky to victory. Okay. No? Okay. It's been a while, and I'm sure you came back to a sellout crowd that could not wait to see you.
Because here's the truth. The Sky still lost, 94-88. It was close enough to feel like they could have won, but it just stretched Chicago's losing streak to 5 games and completely tanked their playoff hopes. Whatever impressive numbers Reese put up, that glow vanished instantly under the weight of yet another loss. So, while the marketing machine insisted this was the return of a winner, the actual reality screamed something totally different. Chicago didn't just advertise Angel Reese. They literally built their entire team around her, as if she was the one missing piece to a championship contender. And that, my friends, is exactly where the real story starts to fall apart.
Only 6,724 fans showed up to the Wintrust Arena. Yeah, it holds about 9,500 fans, so we're talking roughly 3,000 fans away from being sold out to see the return of Angel Reese and the defeat of the Chicago Sky against these.
You see, Chicago's whole bet on Angel Reese wasn't just about picking up a promising rookie last year. Oh no, it was way bigger than that. They built their entire brand, their whole identity, around this idea of her as a savior. The kind of player who could just step in and instantly turn a struggling team completely around. Every single offseason move, every soundbite in the media, it all hammered home the same message. This was Angel's team now. And while that might have looked good on paper, in reality, the results have been anything but convincing.
Angel Reese so we can win, win, win! Win? Since when has Angel Reese contributed to winning? The Chicago Bravado were routinely getting their ass kicked when she was healthy. Outside of the female Suns from Connecticut who seem to be losing intentionally, the Chicago Bravado are the worst team.
That win now offseason, it's the perfect example of this entire strategy. The Sky didn't just patiently rebuild. They made moves that screamed championship now. The most telling move? They traded their number 3 pick in the 2025 draft, Sonia Citron, over to Washington. And guess what? Citron has been absolutely thriving with the Mystics. She's versatile, super steady, and she's quickly becoming a fan favorite, even pushing for Rookie of the Year. Meanwhile, Chicago brought in veteran Ariel Atkins, a proven scorer and defender, all as part of this immediate playoff push. The logic seemed simple. Hand Reese the keys at forward, surround her with an experienced guard, and just chase the playoffs. It looked like a solid plan on paper, if you only looked at the transaction notes. The problem is, absolutely none of it has actually worked out on the court.
And no regrets for the rookie Sonia Citron with a magical move for the Mystics. She's fierce.
Citron. Citron, the back cut. Nice drop off the area. Fan gets the bucket.
Nice dime right there in front of the rim.
So, Citron is out here blossoming in DC, flashing star potential practically every night, while the Sky are still buried at the bottom of the standings. Atkins is definitely solid, no doubt, but she's not the kind of player who can single-handedly turn a team's record around. And if the whole idea was that Reese would be this missing piece to flip close losses into wins, well, just look at the standings. Chicago was sitting at 8 wins and 26 losses after that game, one of the worst records in the entire league. Their playoff chances were basically dead before the season was even half over. And this is exactly where the Reese the winner story starts to show some serious cracks. She was marketed as someone who brings a championship mindset, but she has yet to lead a WNBA team to the postseason. Critics jump on that reality every single time the hype narrative gets repeated. It's been all sizzle, no steak. Now, to be fair, Reese has put up impressive individual numbers, around 14 points and 12 rebounds a game. But even with those stats, The Sky just haven't figured out how to turn her production into actual team success.
Angel Reese is on the court. The only thing you're winning is the #1 pick in the draft. Ironically enough, if the Chicago Bravado get the #1 pick in the draft this year, they don't even get to keep it. It belongs to the Minnesota Linkers. So not only are you stuck with Angel Reese, you also don't have a draft pick so you can select a player that actually...
What's even more insane is that the team's performance without her actually fueled more criticism. During times when Reese was sitting out, Chicago sometimes looked sharper, more balanced, and honestly, more competitive. Now, that doesn't mean she's the only one dragging them down. This is clearly a deep roster-level issue. But the Tefis, it's definitely there, and in sports, perception matters big time. Which brings us to another super uncomfortable question hanging over this whole situation. When Reese just had disappeared for almost a month in the middle of that team collapse, what in the world actually happened?
Facts was she had not finished any season. Her rookie year with the Sky, she tapped out. She did not finish with Unrivaled. She tapped out, didn't even show up to the playoff games. And then this season, post All-Star break, it seemed like that is all she cared about. She realized this team stinks. Tyler Marsh is a bum.
Okay, let's talk about the mysterious month Angel Reese missed. When she was out for nearly a month, the explanations just added fuel to all the questions surrounding her. The official line from the Sky was a back issue, and get this, Coach Tyler Marsh even said at one point, if Angel didn't say, that's her story to tell, Reese herself simply called it a chance to learn a lot about myself. Now for her supporters, that sounded like a much-needed reset. But for critics, the timing looked incredibly suspicious.
Said, I'm so happy to be back playing the game that I love. All right. So here we go, right here. This is Angel. She's going to be going down the court. Again, she's much improved from the field. She's made so much headway. Yeah. Okay. God, it's good to have Angel back. It really is. My goodness. How about right here? Angel Reese is the most blocked player in the WNBA, and believe it or not, I believe that.
Her last game before the break was July 29th against Washington, and she didn't show up again until August 19th. That's 7 full games gone. During a stretch when Chicago was literally clinging to any last shred of playoff hope. The amount of time she was gone, it mattered. A lot. With the Sky spiraling, every missed game carried huge weight. And when she finally did return, it wasn't like she slowly eased back in. She was supposedly on an official 25-minute restriction, but she still played 26 minutes, hitting 9 of 13 shots for 19 points, grabbing 7 rebounds, and dishing out 4 assists. Those aren't exactly the numbers of someone gently recovering from a serious health setback, are they?
Like once she made the All-Star game, she said, that's it. I've done what I had to do. I don't need to stick around for all this losing. She's been saying her back hurts. Nobody knows anything about the injury. Nobody knows. So we start calling it out. Hey, are you quitting again? It appears you're quitting again just because your team not good. Just like rookie year, once you realize you stood no chance to win rookie of the year, you quit. You're quitting Unrivaled. It looked like it was happening again.
This stark contrast is what made the whole story so hard for some fans to swallow. Usually when a team's star player is sidelined, you see updates, practice footage, rehab reports, or at least they're sitting visibly on the bench. But with Reese, updates were non-existent. The Sky stayed completely tight-lipped. She wasn't even noticeably courtside. So naturally, people started filling in the blanks themselves. Commentators were throwing around words like quitting and pump faking, while others insisted it was a legitimate injury alongside a mental reset. Both stories were out there at once, but it was the deafening silence from the team that allowed all that controversy to just explode.
And just like clockwork, Angel comes back, Cardoso's numbers go down. If I'm Cardoso, I'm wanting out of Chicago. I'm getting the hell out of Chicago. Seriously. Brittany Sykes, Skylar Diggins. Skylar Diggins had 24 for the Storm last night. And Angel's return So, Angel, of course, so happy to be back, and she was welcomed back by so many fans.
But wait until you hear this. The words Reese chose when she finally came back. Happy to be back, playing the game I love. I learned a lot about myself. That's what really stood out. It didn't sound like the usual athlete recovery interview. No talk of therapy. No treatment milestones. None of the specifics fans totally expect to hear. Instead, it was just vague. And because it happened right when her team was falling apart, that vagueness was super easy to spin negatively. Meanwhile, Chicago's record didn't really change much without her. They didn't suddenly get better, but they also didn't get worse. And that gave critics a huge opening. Maybe the sky weren't actually built any worse without her. Maybe her absence wasn't the make or break factor supporters claimed. To skeptics, that entire stretch just highlighted a bigger, more uncomfortable pattern. Her impact just doesn't match the superstar billing.
Capital L in love, or capital L for loss? Maybe? I don't know. I mean, so many people were happy. Reese report, so happy. You made so many people happy tonight. You made so many people that squeezed in just a mere 3,000 people short of selling out the arena. I mean, it was literally only 3,000 fans away from being standing room.
So, by the time Reese finally came back, with all the banners, the social media posts, and the massive fanfare, the real story wasn't about how she would lift the sky. Oh no, it was about whether her absence had actually revealed exactly why the team's season was completely unraveling. And that crazy contrast becomes crystal clear when you compare Chicago's current chaos to another team facing their own challenges, but handling them in a totally different way. Because meanwhile, the Indiana Fever have taken a completely opposite approach. They've also dealt with injuries, but instead of falling apart, they've just leaned into their foundation and kept competing hard, every single game. Their results aren't perfect, but the direction feels genuinely real. Each outing feels like a step forward, not just another excuse. And that, my friends, is the massive difference when a team's identity is built on something deeper than just marketing hype.
Kelsey Mitchell! Every game is a home game! Listen to the crowd in Connecticut! Final score in overtime! Fever 99, Sun 93! And Indiana completes the greatest.
And at the heart of it all for Indiana, Caitlin Clark. She's not just out there scoring points or putting up big numbers, she's single-handedly making Indiana must-see TV. Reporters and fans everywhere talk about how her presence literally bumps attendance and turns every single game into a full-blown event, whether she's injured or not. People might buy tickets to see Clark, but they leave feeling invested in the entire team. And unlike those flashy highlight reel scoring lines that just disappear when the buzzer sounds, the sheer excitement she generates actually sticks. She's become the emotional core of a team that fans genuinely want to follow, making sure she shows up for her team whether she's playing. Yeah, that's a pretty big difference from someone you barely saw with the team during their month-long hiatus.
It's another double-double for Aaliyah Boston. Boston will fire a three. It's in. Goes to the putback. Push the foul. Oh, look at Boston just muscle her way into Charles and lay it in. Boston deep position. Boston pretty spin. Back to Boston. Who ties the game?
Boston now with her 15th double-double of the year. That's a new Fever franchise record.
But here's the kicker. Indiana isn't just the Caitlin Clark show. Aaliyah Boston continues to be their rock-solid anchor in the paint, giving the Fever this super reliable front-court presence every single night. Around them, Lexi Hull chips in with gritty defense and hustle. Kelsey Mitchell is still a consistent scorer who can absolutely carry the offense for stretches, and Sophie Cunningham brings that crucial spacing and toughness, doing all that unglamorous work that winning teams literally depend on. When you put them all together, they form a lineup with real balance and accountability. The kind of roster that doesn't just crumble when the pressure hits. And that balance is totally visible in their results. Indiana has shown they can grind out wins, even when they're shorthanded, like that insane overtime performance where Kelsey Mitchell exploded for 38 points leaving national outlets buzzing. Those are the kinds of moments that actually convince fans this team knows how to push through adversity, instead of just folding under it.
Jackson Kelsey Mitchell has a new career high. Backdoor Mitchell bouncing in the paint for two. Kelsey Mitchell, the pig is snatched up. Mitchell squeezing through for two at the foul. Fouls on the other end. It's Mitchell launching.
And you can feel all of that in the atmosphere. Fever games don't just fill seats, they feel charged. Commentators talk about the intense buzz they generate, and you can see how that translates beyond the court, with nationally televised broadcasts now circling them as ratings draws. Contrast that with Chicago's Welcome Back Night, which only pulled a little over 6,700 fans in an arena that holds almost 10,000. For all the hype and marketing slogans, it never felt like the coronation the franchise wanted. Indiana hasn't needed those gimmicks. Their energy is organic, directly tied to what happens on the floor. If you're a fan, this matters. Following the Fever feels like buying into real progress, while Chicago feels like buying into pure spin. Supporting Clark in Indiana isn't just about enjoying highlights, it's about believing in a culture that actually seems capable of growing. And with that comparison hanging in the air, it raises a super uncomfortable reality about what Chicago has been selling all along. Angel Reese was presented as the piece that could elevate Chicago into contention, but her return only underlined how little progress the Sky have truly made. They're now 8-26, completely eliminated from playoff contention. Reese put up efficient numbers, even earning an all-star nod, but the end result was unchanged. No postseason. Indiana, by contrast, has found genuine growth through balance and resilience. In a fast-growing WNBA, teams that build together win together. And right now, that looks a lot more like Indiana than Chicago.